Hello everyone, and welcome to PCP, No Boosters Needed. This is a very special introduction to Season 16. Yep, episode. Thanks for joining us. I am Juhadra, and with me once again are VG Shazbot and Xeno and the Snurks.
It's Season 16? That's such a weird, you have to, do math from when it came out. Ugh, I don't like that.
Well,
hi, everybody.
Yeah, you just minus 16 by the year. There you go. Hello.
What?
No, you minus 10 from the year, because it came out in 2010, and it's 2026. So you minus 10.
Except it's 2010 from the year, because otherwise we get Season 2016.
All right, you know what?
More confusing.
I'm not good at math.
That's okay. You don't have to be, and that's what we're doing this episode.
I'm just a pretty face.
We love you, Xeno. So, everyone, if you haven't seen, you're about to, but the 2026 season has been announced. They have a dev blog about it. Every single creator has already gone on the PBE and tested everything. Vars has a video. What's that guy's name? He finds all the bugs. Vandrill has a video. Yeah. Skin Spotlight has a video. They're everywhere. So you can definitely find a little bit more in depth if you're looking for numbers and things like that. But we're going to go over some of the major changes that we think are going to be influential to PCP and the grander strategy of the game, as opposed to theory crafting and really getting nitty gritty about builds, right? Okay, so the first thing we're going to bring up, it is the season of Demacia. Since they introduced the regions, we've done Noxus and Ionia technically.
Yeah, still technically Noxus, but yeah.
Yeah, that was my point, is we didn't get a full Ionia.
Right.
And despite one of my favorite champions coming from Ionia, I'm not upset, because one of my least favorite champions dominates the lore of Ionia. So right. I think I'm cool with it.
Totally.
All right. So with that, because we are no longer in Noxus, Otacon has been removed from the game. And I remember at the beginning of the season when we did our big episode with it was 4 of us, the 3 of us and Admin Anonymous was with us. We talked about, will Otacon be a permanent fixture of the game? And Shazbot, I believe that you had a reaction to this.
I don't remember the first reaction, but I think that they could take him away just as quickly as they added him. And
when we were talking about doing this episode, Shazbot put in there, all right, Otacon called it. This called it. This called it. He had 6 of them in a row, and I thought that was really funny. And you're not wrong, right? We talked about how the idea was to get more involvement in the top lane, to take people out of the lanes, and to do more fighting, right? That was the goal for Otacon, and I think it worked so well that they had to lock people into lanes with that lane swap thing.
Well, and one big thing that they referenced a lot was objective fatigue. The fact that at any given moment in the match, after 4 or 5 minutes, it was thinking about the next objective at all points of the game, to the point where the only way to win was to take an objective that allows you to win. And they're really pulling that back. I thought Otacon was a really cool experiment, and it just didn't quite fit. But I like the idea. Honestly, I know we're never going to get another map, but it's the kind of thing that they can at least still cook. If they were to announce another map, this is what gives me hope that they could do it right.
Okay. Now, I like your point about it was something to try and it just didn't fit. I think another great example of that was mythic items.
Yes.
Yeah.
The concept was pretty cool, but it only lasted a season, because just like the objective fatigue, you had to build that mythic.
Right.
It really limited your build path when it was supposed to give you diversity, because those passives were too strong.
Yeah. And you're limited to 1 mythic per, build. And so naturally everybody's just going to pick the best mythic for them. For example, whenever I ran Veigar, I would just take Everfrost because I could slow things in my cage, So everybody always had their go-to that worked for their specific champion and build. And yeah, it's like you said, that lowers the diversity of items.
Right. And so with Otacon I think it was a good experiment. I enjoyed having him in the game, but he is gone now. I don't think that's a bad thing. It will increase the pace of the game once again because Baron spawns at 20 minutes instead of 25.
Right.
The Drake timers went back. Void Grub timer went back. Rift Herald went back. So everything is now sooner in the game, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
And they're making later monsters tankier.
Yes.
So that just because we're getting all these timers back and more condensed, it's not going to be as rush to the dragon spawning now, go now. Like there's a little bit of wiggle room that if you're behind that you can not focus on every single objective.
Yeah. So feats of strength also removed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's actually more akin to the mythic items now that I'm thinking about it. And I remember when it first came out, it was whoever got the first kill, not the first 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
And everyone was complaining that it skewed their games because people were doing stupid things and invades trying to get first blood. And when it went backward, they just FF'd at 15.
Yep.
And so they changed it. And then it was so driving the concept of getting the first turret, of objectives. You had to get them. And so it's another thing that's going to change, again, the fundamental idea of the game. And I think that they were a lot of fun. I hope that there's a way that they can do something similar. And I'm glad we did the experiment.
It's really, the removal of feats is interesting to me because we always had the debate of, did the boots actually matter that much, or is it just doing good things that led to a victory?
Right.
And I hope that in losing feats that people don't stop going for those objectives because it gives you arguably just as much now, just without the big flashy, blah, that it gives now. So like, if this is something that is, as a player, you're like, well, I don't need to worry about first turret anymore. Fix yourself.
Fix yourself. Speaking of turrets, they're changing the way that turrets are interacting with the map. The first of which is plates are different. It's
Really
no
different.
longer just 5 on the front turret, and then you get those 5, they fall off at 14 minutes, and then the other turrets are basically defenseless. They are now having what's called overgrowth, and the other tiers of turrets also get plates.
Right.
So overgrowth, they're crystals, and over time they build up so that when you show up with your hull breaker and demolish, you can take them in one shot. That's basically the concept.
And it also enables sieging again. Sieging is a strategy that we've kind of lost in the last year because of all the objective fatigue. And now it's like, if you can like bottle the enemy team into their base again and just wait for this crystalline overgrowth to build, you just need a single mistake to like really hit. Now, I want to know how hard crystalline or like how long it takes, but I really like that. I like that it's like, trying to finish the game, trying to end the game.
Yeah, crystalline, as someone that's been playing on the PB quite a bit, crystalline, it builds up decently quick, I would say, to the point where if you haven't hit the tower in probably like 3 to 4 minutes, you can get like a good solid like 600 to 700 health on it, which sounds like a lot, especially, but the tier 1 turrets now have 9,000 health. So that's how they balance that out.
And I think that they made some other changes to compensate for it, right? They give extra plates to the tier 2 and tier 3, which not only makes them harder to kill, but it also adds more gold to the game.
Yep.
Which is another really important thing, right? When you're not taking objectives, it's another way to get that same amount of power. Instead of just in raw stats from your objectives, you're getting gold to then buy items.
Sorry?
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. The other thing I really like about it, actually, is that, say, you're on your island in top lane and you're doing very well against your opponent. You're, taking them out and everything, but your bot lane and your mid lane are struggling to the point where the enemies are able to get together and collect dragon. This new setup allows you to keep applying pressure strongly at top lane to try and take the enemies away from there while also getting additional gold for you and your team. So I think it also incentivizes, like you said, the sieging, and also incentivizes you taking different approaches from, hey, we got to be at the dragon right now.
Right.
Now, I wanted to ask, because in the current game, knocking down a plate gives a ton of resistances to the turret, which is technically, some of it's temporary, some of it's not. So if you're at tier 2 turret and you knock down a plate, is it going to be much harder to 100-0 a turret?
So it's interesting what they did this time. It's no longer the consistent 20%. It's now similar to what you see in Earth, where it's like a small one, and then it builds up, and the last plate is like the last 40-ish% of the turret's health.
And it's, but like, does it gain temporary resistances? Like if I'm Tryndamere and I'm top lane and I just want to like whack turrets?
I have not double checked that.
I'd be curious to find that out, because that's how it is in the current game. Because like you can wail. There's a tactic in the current game where you have your support take a step back, so that not only you get the solo gold, but if your support, the math is really weird, and I really hate when they have mechanics like this, but if your support is nearby, it counts the amount of champions that are nearby when a plate is taken, so it gets more resistances. So the math works out that if you don't have your support hit the turret until the second plate, that you can actually take 2 plates when mathematically you might have only taken 1.5 before. Yeah. And that's like, even saying that right took a lot of brain power for me to get right. So I don't like when they have those passives, so it'd be good to know if that's the case.
Agreed. But regardless, the amount of health per plate, I think that's a really good thing that they've adopted in here.
Yeah.
You know, short on the first and big on the last. So it is still harder to take the plate at the end of the turret's life.
Right.
But it's still got 3 plates.
Sure.
And that's good.
I also like how it can also work as a comeback mechanic, where if, you know, your mid laner is off helping with dragoning, you decide to keep pushing mid, you can secure some gold to help you get to your first item, for example.
Yeah.
So I think that's really, I really like how the change of how the turret plates works gives you more agency and more options.
2 more turret changes.
Okay.
One indirect is the way that Demolish works.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know the cooldown on it, but it's a 3-hit passive now instead of a charge up and a single hit. And that does 2 things for me. Number 1, it makes it faster. And number 2, it puts you in more danger, because you can kind of sit around a certain range, get your 1 attack and walk away.
Yep.
But now you have to be close and you have to swing. And so I think that requires more, you know, your champion movement makes you stay still, and a not moving target is an easy target. And so I'm not really upset about this change. I think it'll be okay, but it will be easier to proc Demolish.
You're so valid for that. When I first heard it, I had a different mindset towards it. I think what you said is very real. But I was thinking more along the lines of it's enabling split pushing champions, because like every single split pusher I could think of either has a billion attack speed or has some sort of auto attack reset.
Yeah.
The Fioras, the Nasus, even the Alawi.
Even Darius Mundo.
Exactly.
You know?
So, but that is interesting to me that if you have someone more along the lines of, even Mundo has it. I'm trying to think of someone who doesn't have
Sion
an auto attack.
doesn't have it.
Sion.
That's a good.
Maokai doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Ornn doesn't have it. Yasuo doesn't have it.
Which is
Tryndamere.
really interesting, because now it was such a no-brainer Sion. Of course I take Demolish. Now it's kind of ugly, especially if you're in a position where you're in a losing lane and you're just trying to get your Demolish proc while they're running towards you. You might not get it where earlier you could have.
But the fun thing about that is it again scales with max health.
Right.
So if you do get it, it's so worth it. So
Right.
I like these type of things, these coin flip mechanics where you have to choose.
Mhm.
Is it worth it to hang out and take that extra 150 damage
100%.
to deal 280? Or do I need to back off because I need my health for when they inevitably gank because I've been pushed up for a while?
It's good game design.
Agreed.
I need to double check it, but I believe it's a 30-second cooldown.
That would be good. I think that... Oh, wait. Yes, you were right. They explained that in the video. It's for every minion wave. Every time you have a minion wave, you get to proc it again, which is faster.
45 seconds, actually.
Oh,
but
so they fix it?
That's just a quick search said it's 45 seconds. So.
And then the last turret update is when Nexus turrets respawn, they come back with 40%, not 100% health.
That's so nice, honestly.
It's so, like, you may be like, oh, okay, that's nice. Unless you've experienced why they made that change. It was so insufferable to be like, it's bag full health again.
Yep.
Honestly, I like that personally. And I know that it's frustrating that you're winning and then it just pops up, but you should still be winning.
Well, don't forget that Nexus turrets regen.
Mhm.
So if they broke and then came back and then you can't get to the Nexus for a long time, then you might get more of the experience of beforehand. But it was so like, because then the Nexus respawns and you have to run back to the Nexus and kill that, and then by the time it was not a fun experience. We still won those games, but goodness.
Forced a lot of resets. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it just prevents the game from ending. It doesn't like allow them to come back. I don't think this will like lose anyone games.
No, but that's an interesting comment you just made about it made games last longer, whereas everything else we've talked about has been to accelerate. So this makes sense.
Yes.
If the goal is to accelerate the game, this is a perfect change.
Yes. Yeah. And I love what Xeno was talking about, that it's not necessarily accelerating the winners, but it also accelerates comeback mechanics, which I think is excellent. Because we still have the respawn turrets, great change, but just a little less frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, as someone that has been playing League for a while and seeing how it's pretty much always been a very snowbally game, I always enjoy seeing new comeback mechanics and ways to even the playing field a bit. Not to the point where, like you see in Mario Kart where it's worth purposefully staying in last until the last second, but to give people a fighting chance where they don't feel like it's pointless.
That's for TFT.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna breeze through some more of the map changes. The biggest one is the way that minion waves are going to interact now. As of this moment, you get 6 minions every 30 seconds with the occasional cannon minion.
Mhm.
That's every minute, every 3 way. I should know this, but I don't. But the cannon wave comes every so many.
Yeah.
Starting at 14 minutes, minion waves spawn every 25 seconds, and they spawn with 1 less melee minion. Now, this is important to remember. Some people might be like, well, why doesn't it spawn the extra minion? Well, because you have waves coming more frequently, you would get more gold.
Mhm.
So they're taking away the minion to almost even that out. It doesn't, but it slows it down. The snowball at 14 minutes would be so crazy if it kept them all. That's the idea. And then at 30 minutes, it drops again. It will be every 20 seconds you get a minion wave with 1 less caster minion. So now you've got a 4 minion wave with a cannon. And so you're removing, what is that, 50 gold, if I'm remembering right? No, 21 and 14.
So
40.
that's like
Yeah, it's 40 gold.
21,
At a certain
14,
point-
35.
My bad. I can't math either.
Doing math on
basic.
stream.
Yeah. All right. Rule number 1, I think.
Now in the current game, there's a certain point where it goes from every 3 waves to every 2 waves. The cannon comes out.
Yeah.
So what's the cannon frequency once you get to 14 minutes?
That was not on my explanation video.
Interesting. Okay, I that would be interesting for me to ask, because like if we're getting cannons more frequently, then that's still significantly more gold
Oh, yes.
with the frequency. But cannons are harder to kill.
They are.
So just something to consider. I've prevented myself from saying this 3 times. I'm saying it now. I am predicting the rise of top lane agency.
Oh, yes.
100%. I think top lane is not only going to be the most fun lane, but is going to be a powerful lane for the first time in history.
I would contend 2015 was a pretty big
Juggernaut.
year. Hold on. It might have been 2016. Whatever year Marin was on SKTT1, because he played Fiora and Renekton and one other carry and literally ran that team.
I also think of the Juggernaut rework also was really
I was
top lane focused.
not around for those years,
Ah.
so they don't exist.
You weren't born yet?
That's right. I'm 10 years old
Yikes.
and this good at League.
Okay. Well, I want to go quick because we have a lot more things and we're already at 20 minutes. So,
Woo.
quick one. Crit is now 200% damage instead of 175. They did that because it was apparently too easy to build crit. I don't know. But that's a really important thing.
It was because of the mythic items.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
But then
that's
when
right.
mythic items went away, why didn't they revert it?
Because they didn't think they needed to,
Yeah.
and now they're doing
All right.
it.
Yeah.
Well, good change. Our tournament is full of marksman players, so this
Yep.
is a good thing. damage is going to go way up. I like it.
Well, I also think that there are certain champions that we haven't seen for a while that are going to return.
Okay.
But yeah, like we see a lot of Varus right now.
Yeah.
Varus does not build a lot of crit.
That's true.
We could see crit Varus, not feeling that as much. I honestly don't think that this like imposes on Varus as much as it kind of helps. Like we see Caitlyn's. Anyways, we should see more people that should spec into crit more often.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will add really quickly, we're probably not going to go over this, but almost every ADC is getting big changes alongside this with a ton of nerfs. So make sure to look over your marksman and see what's changing.
Thank you, Xeno.
Way to go, Xeno.
Yeah, serious.
All right. Fastest one, home guards. At a certain point in the game, it will take you to your most pushed out minion wave as opposed to stopping after 8 seconds.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is something important to recognize. If you want this bonus, don't run through your jungle. Some people waste this in the current patch. This is going to be even more important to just follow your lane to where it is. I really, really like this change. It gets you into the action faster and allows your resets to be less punishing.
Yep. Get your hull breaker. It procs demolish almost instantly. Run out, smack a turret back, and just especially if you're a mid laner, we'll get to that in a bit, but like it's going to be great.
Yep.
And then the last map change that I want to go over is about vision. They're introducing the Phalites. There's spots on the map where if you place a ward, it grants this stupid large area of vision.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like it's actually insane.
How are we feeling about that?
I'm not liking it.
Really?
No, and the reason why is the Fog of War is what makes the game exciting. It's what makes it interesting. It's what makes it scary.
Right.
And so when you just for free get to place any kind of vision trinket right there, and I'm not joking, it's a quarter of the jungle.
Does the enemy have any indication that fairy lights are active at that point or something like that? Because that would be really interesting counterplay to be like, well, I know they have vision right here, so I'm just going to gank somewhere else. Like,
See, I would hope so. I know that only one team can control the Phalite at a time.
Right.
How are they going to do? I don't know how they're going to do
this. Feels like the opposite of the demolish change, where the demolish change is like, do I stay? Do I go? That's interesting game design. For me, the vision change, like I know they reference that some newer players don't know where to put wards and they want to incentivize good ward placement, but like it would be cool to me if it was like a brief vision and then it like faded away or gave your enemies some like, do I put it in the fairy light or do I not, is an interesting decision point for me. I'm not hearing that right now. So
yeah, I will say, to be a bit of a contrarian,
Please.
I kind of like it.
Okay.
And the reason why I like it is I think it rewards good vision timing. If you're like, okay, I'm suspecting the jungler might be in the area, let's put a ward there. It rewards you for being good with your timing on your vision.
interesting.
This is why we talk, because there's always another perspective. But that's what that is. Trinkets are getting longer, or sweepers last longer. Yellow trinkets refresh quicker. There are going to be more vision plants. Like they're really trying to stress vision. And in the dev video, they said it's because only supports are really tasked with it. And so it's trying to spread the love and the vision, if you will, of team play.
So vision.
It's not a bad thing, I don't think. I just don't like the size of area the Phalites reveal. And especially if it's a permanent reveal, that blows my mind.
Well, it is interesting to me because in 2025, what is the strongest position? Jungle, easily. And if this is a way to pull back jungle slightly, then I'm like, I'm kind of for it. I agree. It feels unfair to the junglers, but I'm like, junglers have a lot of agency right now. I bet you 6 months from now, they'll make some sort of edits to it.
Oh, yes.
Or even 1 month from now. I don't know.
Yeah.
But especially with all these other changes. So
speaking of other changes, that's it for the map. And that's it for Juhadre dominating conversation. We're going to move on to the newest thing that's introduced for our champions. It's called Role Quests.
Yes, and now you're in the realm of VG Shazbot, who's going to be educating you well. So currently in the game, we have the support quest. There's an item that you get that eventually will spawn into a different item that gives you gold when you hit people. And jungle has a very similar thing with their jungle item that actually just gets absorbed into your soul and doesn't become an item anymore. Those are getting slight changes, but everyone else is also getting role quests. So your top lane, your jungle, your mid, your bot lane, and your support are all getting items dependent on your role. Now, what's really interesting about I'll say before you start a game, make sure that your intended lane is where you're intended to go. If you are progress towards your quest is reduced if you are not in your lane.
Mhm.
So they're trying to incentivize top laners to stay in top lane. Doesn't mean you can't lane swap, but you're just going to get less fast.
So just to put that in the clearest way possible, you can pick any of the 5 quests, but it will go faster if you play in the lane you choose.
Well, yes, but only one person on your team is getting the top lane quest. Only one person is getting the mid
Yeah.
lane quest.
It's
Yes.
based on role assignment.
So if one dude just wrecks top lane but chooses mid, the mid laner then it gets the top lane buff.
No.
No.
You're still progressing towards. If I picked Orianna mid and I'm just camping top the entire time, I'm just going to get progress towards my quest slower.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
but
thought
it's still the same quest.
I thought that you could pick top lane quest in the bot lane so that you got your teleport and the extra
That'd be-
level cap.
That'd be
right.
wild.
Spoilers.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that now, but I want to incentivize that you can do these cool role swap, and it just gives downsides, which I like. I like that you can still bully top lane and just be behind on that kind of thing. Something to experiment with your teams. I very much incentivize that. But let's go into we'll go top to bot, because I think top is going to be the biggest one that we talk
for
about.
sure.
The first is that once you complete your top lane quest, you are going to gain the teleport spell. You may still bring teleport into your lane, at which point your teleport is upgraded. Whenever you use teleport, you'll get a max health shield when
Movement
you
speed.
teleport, and movement speed. So that's allowing these split pushers to take things like Ghost to win their lane, to be a threat, to still be able to get away and have that summoner spell flexibility and still have teleport. So that's incredible on its own. That enables, I know I have a friend who plays nothing but Nasus and he is loving it.
Because he gets to take ghosts.
Yes!
That's
Because
so
he
busted.
already takes Ghost. And then all of a sudden you can be present for objectives, you can be present for all that. Teleport was too useful of a spell to not take, and so it felt bad to take, or to not take, and so now everyone has it, just at a later stage in the game. Very interesting stuff.
Yeah, what it does is it gives you stronger lane presence, but then guarantees that you're powerful in the late game when you need that teleport.
Exactly.
I'm also curious to see. I should do some testing with an unsealed spellbook as well, because I think that would be very interesting.
From what it looks like, and please do the testing, the summoner spell is on a different button. So it's not like you're losing access to Ghost and Flash when you gain access to teleport, which I figure you have to like bind a new button, which is kind of awkward, but whatever.
Maybe it's control, which is the level up spell. What if you control D to teleport?
Yes, because teleport belongs on D. Remember that.
Only because Flash is on F.
Yeah,
and everyone takes Flash.
Exactly. F
F
is for
Flash. Yep.
Thank you.
I've heard D is for don't die, which is why you put Flash there.
Yeah.
That's such bullcrap.
So additionally, you're going to gain more XP once your quest is done, and your level cap is 20.
Yep.
Now, I've heard a lot of people freak out about this. They're like, oh my gosh, Udyr can take all of his skill points, which I don't know if that's true or not. That is true in Arena, but again, this is like such a minor thing. It does give you more stats, and that should be recognized, but it isn't going to necessarily lose a lot of games because not every game goes to level 18.
Right.
Just something that you need to keep in mind if you're level 20, that you are so incentivized to split push now. You are so incentivized to siege that you should be soaking up XP and being a threat over the map wherever you can. I really think this is going to change the top lane meta.
Does it give you skill points into your spells? Because they would need to, because anyone could go
They would have
top
to
lane.
do
They
it
would
for
need to do for
everyone.
all 170
No, yeah.
champions. It's got to be just an extra scale with the algorithm that gives you health and armor and attack damage.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was playing Top Mundo earlier, and it's not extra skill points.
Okay.
It just treats it the same as Earth, where you get more stats.
Kind of. So currently in Arena, you can take something similar, which you get extra levels. If you're Udyr, and remember, Udyr has 20 slots rather than the first 18 slots to
That's a
level
good
up
point.
skill points. So in his specific example, you might be able to put 2 more points.
Okay.
But if you really need 2 more points in Tiger Stance to win the game, you need to rethink yourself.
So then what does that do with the likes of Karma and Jace and Nidalee?
Because currently there's only so many points to put in. That's how I think it's going to happen. It's not going to give any more points. And even if it did, it's like 40 more damage on most of so not going to be a big deal. Not what you should focus on. Okay. Next, so just because we are losing the feats of strength, we are not losing the boots. As mid laners, when they complete their quest, are going to get not only an empowered recall, but also free tier 3 boots, which is very interesting because most mid laners are going to be those that take like the magic pen boots or something like that. So now not only is there a reason for mid laners to take Swifties, which I think is really cool. Zed taking Swifties is like, hey, that's more attack damage. But also allowing you to spec into things like ninja tabbies, or sorry, plated steel caps.
That change happened like 9 years ago.
I'm 10 years old. Don't forget.
That's right.
So I think that it's going to give a lot of flexibility mid lane, especially because mid lane is going to be the reset lane. They're going to be able to get back the fastest and be ready to take dragon faster than any other lane.
So this is actually really good for demolished champions like Lysandra, like Galio, because then you can build demolish, get your faster recall and your faster boots, and just rush up that lane.
But don't forget, Lysandra, Galio, all of these people who have very slow attack speeds now need to think about 3-hit combos.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah.
You actually have a very good point.
So that I like that because they're not saying no. They're just saying, it's a little tricky now.
So are the tier 3 boots the same as the feats of strength boot upgrades? Do we know that?
From what we can tell, I believe so.
There are some differences. Like, for example, my brain wanted to call them ninja toppies there. For example, the plated steel caps and the Merc treads respectively give you an armor and a magic resist shield.
Well, that's what they do.
That's what they do now.
Oh, shows you what I know.
When was the last time you got feats of strength and upgraded those boots?
I
Don't call
almost
them out like that.
So unless I'm playing on PvE, I'm playing ARAM. So
Yeah,
never.
And I have the same answer. I only play ARAM, so or custom 5s.
Yep.
So it's
I'm not thinking about it.
exactly. I did know they did that because I watched Worlds and I was like, holy crap, that shield was huge.
Awesome. All right, let's round out the bot lane. Bot lane is one for me that I think is very interesting because people have been focusing on the second part, and I think the first part is more important. When you complete your bot lane quest, you will gain a large chunk of gold. You will also get additional gold from minion kills, securing kills, getting assists, all that good stuff. Takedowns, essentially.
Yeah.
But your boots will be moved into a 7th slot. So now you can buy 6 total items, which apparently they're reworking how Cassio was working entirely.
I raised my hand and I was going to say, we need to go back and talk about Cassiopeia.
I don't think we do. When's the last time we saw Cassiopeia in bot lane?
Well, that's exactly my point. She's going to come back now, right? She can buy boots and then she doesn't have to, and so it's going to just make her strong.
Let's rework the entire game to fit one champion.
Anyway,
They've made adjustments to Cassiopeia.
I know they did, and I saw the thumbnails.
It's so silly, man. If you're so dead set on going Cassio again, because everyone's focused on the 7th slot, most games end by the time you complete your 3rd or 4th item. It doesn't matter what MMR you're in, because you get your items slower in lower ranks than in higher ranks. As you get better at CSing and all that good stuff. So What I think is more important is the immediate gold advantage that you're going to get.
Yeah.
I think ADCs might get a fourth item when everyone else is having a third, or a fifth item when everyone else is having a fourth. That's it. I don't think the amount of games that have all 7 items filled out is going to be very commentable.
No. And you are right, but it's fun.
It is fun.
What is the amount of gold you get? Is it like 1,500? It's got to be it says a large amount.
300 gold.
300 gold? So it's an extra kill?
It's a kill.
Yeah.
But it's a kill. You know?
Look at me asking the 1,200. What am I?
But then,
Moneybag Sadre over here.
But that's the thing is that caster minions and melee minions give more gold as well.
That's true.
And you're starting to farm multiple lanes at that point.
Mhm.
It's really big. And this allows ADCs, especially those who can be safe, who can siege, Ezreals and Zerries and whatnot, are going to be more flexible because they're going to be more mobile. It's going to be a statement to play a less mobile, I'm going to say ADC, but I'm saying champion in bot lane.
Mhm.
Like Ziggs has some might make a resurgence and things like that.
Yeah.
This is what's interesting to me, is that it doesn't say you gain attack speed and attack damage.
Mhm.
It's saying you gain a slot, and that allows our bot laners to flourish.
I think we're gonna see a resurgence of more flex with bot lane as role for people that want to get like that 7th item and whatnot. Like I don't know how doable it would be. I could see something crazy like seeing a Kayle bot lane trying to get that 7th item.
Nah, getting level 20 on Kayle would
Yeah.
be so much better.
That's a fair point, actually. Never mind.
Don't think that. Like,
no one's gonna get there, Shazbot. We know your point, but it's going to skew games. I think that's what Xeno's trying to say. Is regardless of if we're gonna get there, and against your advice, and for the tens of millions of people who don't listen to this, you should, by the way.
Everybody
Thank you
listens
for
to
listening.
our podcast.
That's more where that part of the discussion comes in, is because the mindset is going to shift,
The mental.
and people are going to try it without realizing they'll never get to that point.
Exactly.
I just think that I have a lot of friends, and we will not name names. I have a lot of friends who don't like to surrender. And especially when it comes to practice games, not like silly games, normal games, ARAMs or whatever, but like a practice game, they have trouble surrendering. And it's like, for me, when you're in a practice tool and you're like trying to buy items, I only ever buy 3 items in my practice tool because that's a more accurate mid-game. Even like 1 item is more accurate than these 7 item dream things. And I really think that sometimes you have to view yourself as a player and be like, why am I thinking about 7 items? Like, I just, as fun as it is, like, let those games that go to 7 items be fun and then focus on the actual game.
Yeah. And so this is another really interesting thing. So what you're saying is focus on the immediate effects of your quest rather than the late game power. So
Exactly.
for top lane, don't worry about getting level 20. Think about getting a free teleport.
Right.
That immediately empowers you to run around the map more often.
Yes.
For the mid lane, you get free boots.
Yes.
Don't worry about... Well, actually, that was
both
pretty
of
good.
them apply.
Both of them are really
That's what I'm
good.
saying. If mid lane had, at level 18, you gain 200 adaptive force, and everyone would be like, whoa, that's crazy. I'm going to say it hasn't changed.
Exactly. And so then this extra kills worth of gold and your extra gold on farm,
Yes.
that's what we need to remember, because that's the immediate power.
Bingo.
So the question then becomes, should they take back these late game power spikes and replace them with something else that's more immediate?
Well, and see, that's where I had forgotten the other half of my sentence, is the game itself doesn't change because of level 20. It doesn't change because of 200 adaptive force in the hypothetical we posed, and it doesn't change because 7th item slot.
Right.
The game changes at, let's call it 22 minutes.
Right.
Mid-game. I got you.
Right there. When you're supposed to be fighting over Soul and when you're fighting over Baron, who has got their quest first?
Yes.
That's what's more important, because that's where everything starts to actually change.
So this is a bad example, but I wanted to highlight it because you guys used it earlier, that I think Kayle as a bot lane quester and getting that mid-game power spike and allowing her to, like, now she'd be bad in the bot lane because she couldn't survive to that point.
Right.
But the immediate effect of 300 gold and getting more gold would be really nice. Well, versus the XP bonus that you're getting from top lane.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, instead of us talking, like, I really catch yourself, player, that if you're discussing level 20 versus a 7th item slot, let me instead suggest XP versus gold.
Yeah.
Which is so much more immediately effective and cool.
Yeah. Champions are either level or item dependent.
Yes.
Kayle is a level dependent champion.
Correct.
Vayne is a level dependent champion.
Yes.
Ornn
Ooh.
is an item dependent champion.
Oh, don't incentivize Vayne to go top.
They do it anyway.
Oh no.
They
Oh,
already
they do.
go.
Yeah. And, those type of things. There are these type of things to consider as well.
I think we've triggered VG
No, it's so bad because we're about to talk to items, and I'm giving a segue. I've got to talk about Support Quest first, but oh man,
and Jungle Quest.
Jungle Quest is actually kind of nothing, really. It upgrades your smite. It does what it does now. Now, I'm sure the exact differences are going to be slightly different, but
Well, it gives you extra movement speed while in the jungle,
yes,
and it gives you more gold and XP on jungle monster kill.
right.
Yep.
Which is kind of, I mean, it's the blue jungle item. Do we still have the jungle items? The red, blue, green?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still there.
So it's an enhanced blue jungle
Yeah.
item. So, which is interesting, but like ultimately not that important. Especially the support item. Or
Fair enough.
The support quest is very similar. It gives you a dedicated slot for control wards. It cheapens control wards and it gives you some extra gold.
Mhm.
And I think it has some other minor effects. But like ultimately, jungles and supports are not going to play any more different, other than supports need to think about when they roam. Because roaming at all times, like we do in the current season, is going to punish you. Isn't wrong, but you need to think about that.
Well, it's interesting that they give the quest for extra wards and cheaper wards to supports when didn't we introduce Phaelites to remove the
Yes.
responsibility from supports? When I first heard that, I was like, wait a minute. I thought that the whole whatever.
Yeah. It feels like two different voices for sure.
It kind of does, but at the same time, it's giving that identity to the support that has had that role anyway. Like if you just completely removed it, then these people who've been training the last 15 seasons to be the main vision support, what are you going to do now?
Yeah, and ever since they decloaked the pink wards, like I think control wards are fun and interesting to play around.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at you, my 2 million master point, Shaco. I do think they're good for the game. So
Very cool.
awesome. Well, now here's your segue for the items.
Before we do that, Zeno, forgive me, we do need to remember that we have Freshen Up as a sponsor, or we have an affiliate link with them. And in this season of love, they have decided that they are going to... Wait, that was the wrong thing to say. They are re-releasing holiday flavors, is what I meant to say. We have Fireside Apple Hydration. That's the non-caffeinated version. And Santa's Cookies is coming back. So remember to use our affiliate link for Freshen Up to get those new flavors and anything else for your hydration or energy needs.
I love Santa.
Yeah, we do love Christmas.
Yeah. I'm a fan of the holidays.
All right, Zeno, take it away. Thank you for allowing me that moment to product place.
No, no problem at all. And thank you, Freshen Up, for sponsoring us.
Hey.
All right, so we got 10 main items being changed in League of Legends. Not changed, but being added to League. So I'm looking forward to those. There's some fun ones coming back, specifically Stormrazor and Gunblade are coming back. They more or less do what they did before with small differences.
So this is an opportunity I want to take. One of you two, I apologize, I can't remember which, said you're worried about Gunblade.
I'm worried about Gunblade.
Okay, it was Zeno, okay.
Yeah. But no,
I'm also worried about Gunblade,
All
but
right.
for probably a different reason.
the main reason why I'm worried about Gunblade is the 30% AP ratio on the ability. So Yeah, that's a solid amount of point and click damage.
It's on a longer cooldown and it slows less. So they like I will say at the start of this that I watched Riot N-Steps video. I highly recommend it. It is 2 hours long, but you're already this far in. He's the developer for these items and he gives some good insights for that. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, so he specifically was pointing out like the old Akali would just run into the lane, slow you, and kill you on repeat. And you can't quite do that anymore. I'm worried because I don't like more healing in the game. And I play a lot of healing champs. I just think, and honestly, I'm worried about people taking it in incorrect circumstances. Like, this is a good sustain tool. This isn't like a good team fight tool.
I getcha, yeah. The sustain on it's going to be insane. I've already seen TC Zwag doing videos about like getting tons of heals off. It's gonna be disgusting on certain champions like Sylas.
So then what does that do to Riftmaker? Because that's the Omnivamp AP item. Is this going to be... This is more hybrid, I'll give you that. So it's going to be stronger on the likes of Varus, like Kai'Sa, like Kayle, these type of champions. So is it going to take over Riftmaker or give more build options?
I think more build options, and for people that want to focus on sustain, I could see them building both.
Okay.
I would worry about that. You can have too much of a good thing. The question you have to ask yourself when buying Gunblade is, can I use both stats effectively?
Exactly.
So like Sylas, I happen to know a certain someone who likes to play AD Sylas. And I appreciate the return of a lot of hybrid items that's coming through.
Yep. But one item I am very interested in seeing how it's going to impact the PLC is specifically Bandle Pipes.
That's a fun one.
All right, so the way Bandle Pipes works is it gives you tanky stats, so health, armor, magic resist, and ability haste. And then every time you slow or immobilize an enemy champion, it grants what's called fanfare. So for 4 seconds if you're ranged and 8 seconds if you're melee. So you yourself, you gain 20% bonus movement speed, and then you and nearby allies gain 20.01% or 30% bonus attack speed.
And critically, what's the cooldown on this special effect?
That's the neat part. There isn't.
What a meme. So then, does it stack?
No,
it just
does it
resets
refresh the cooldown?
Yeah,
okay, thank goodness,
the
because we've got Braum and we've got Nautilus and we've got Karma and we've got Lulu. We've got all these different champions that would just ruin everything.
Enchanters are gonna love it, and some top laners are gonna love it for sure.
I also think that it's going to enable some kind of good bot lane supports that are going to be really good now. Poppies.
Oh yes.
Ashe. Tahm Kench. Like, these are, I mean, Tahm Kench is an exception, but like getting movement speed and an AoE attack speed buff is incredible for you.
Not only just that, but even like a champion like Nautilus that increased attack speed could help him get more autos to then continue proccing the Bandle Pipes.
I didn't even think about Ashe support.
Right.
And support.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Like, those two champions will instantly proc that every time. If you're not rushing that on those two supports, you're wrong.
So, but it's an interesting decision point. For Ashe, I think it makes a lot of sense. For MF, it makes less sense because you're getting no damage out of this at all. So as MF, you really would have to be like, my E is just going to be like an old Gangplank passive. Like, in earlier iterations of this item, it was just an AoE aura. And so, I don't know, play with it. But I think this should enable some fun supports.
Not only that, but MF's E, it's her E, right? Yeah, her E, it has a longer cooldown, so you're not going to get it often either.
Well, see, I disagree. People played MF support specifically for it. It was good against the Zyra, and it gives ability haste, does it not?
Yeah, it does give ability haste.
Well, then there's your problem solved. Like, you're not going to pick MF with this item to carry. You're picking it to constantly be proccing the buff for the rest of your team, especially if you Imperial Mandate on top of that. Could you imagine? Like, that's bananas. It's such long range. It's AoE. It applies it easily. It's a massive slow, especially if you silly enough pick a Rylai's up.
right?
Well, not even just Rylai's, but what's the AD item that applies slows as well? You
Oh,
can build-
Cyrilda's.
Yeah, build Cyrilda's instead because the E already has a slow on it, so now your ult and your Q can proc it
I
as
don't
well.
know about that one, Chief, but yeah,
Because it only procs a slow if they're at a health threshold.
like 40% health
Yeah.
or something like that.
Okay, my bad.
But it does, like, I'm so curious about, like, Gnar. Like, can you play Gnar
Oh.
support now?
Huh. Interesting.
Never considered that.
Right?
So
I've
opens
seen
up
him
those
marksman. I've
possibilities.
seen him top. I've even seen him jungle and mid. I've never seen him support.
I don't think that you ever build this top lane. I don't think
No,
the stats
no,
are
no.
there to build top lane, especially with all the agency you can do for split pushing now. I just don't think it's ever right. But like there's certain champions that were like, I could consider them to be supports that now I'm like, I might try this.
All right.
So
The return of Malphite support because your Q does more.
Yeah.
Just stuff like
That'd
that.
be
Speedy boy.
great. Maokai might rise in prominence as a support
That's
again.
true, Malphite.
Yes.
Yeah, you could see a lot there. And even like things as simple as like brand with Rylai's, you know?
Because think of the trade pattern. Someone hits your dude like across the map, and then your team gets a movement speed buff, and it's like now we're in there. Or just Maokai gets the movement speed buff, but now you're in there, and that's one of the biggest problems with Maokai is like gap closing.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, and then another one I think is going to be very, very interesting is the Bastion Breaker. Now this one, it gives you attack damage, ability haste, and 22 lethality.
Yes.
Let's compare that to another item so that we have a gauge. Is that high? Is it normal?
Unless I'm misremembering, I'm pretty sure the next highest lethality is 18.
Correct.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that's a single. I believe that's opportunity.
I believe so.
Which is a high damage, explosive damage. Like that's a big deal. I've heard some people complain about this item already, and my words are for you. If you are looking at this item for the special ability that he's about to, that's not the point. The special ability of this item is that the more lethality you have, the more percentage damage that you are doing because you're reducing the other person's armor, which has a exponential damage increase. So
Yeah, because there's the first unique passive, which is your abilities deal bonus true damage that scales with your lethality.
This is going to be a very big problem when people start putting it on Pyke, who already does that.
and it also does that to champions and epic monsters as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the other thing is that when you take down a champion within 3 seconds of damaging them, for the next 3 seconds, your next basic attacks against an epic monster or turret will deal bonus true damage scaling with lethality.
I think it's 30 seconds, right?
The one I'm reading says 3 seconds, so it's probably wrong.
It's
But
probably wrong. I think it's
30
30 seconds.
sounds more accurate because you can't do anything in 3 seconds for autoing turrets.
So that you can
I
go.
don't know, man. It's for a dive.
Mm-hmm.
So you dive, you hurry and attack it. Maybe you proc some of the crystal overgrowth. I'm more looking at objective steals. Like you come in, you pop a support, and immediately jump in and deal 3,000 damage with an auto attack.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem.
I promise I'll talk less about other items, but I have a lot of thoughts about this item. So it comes out as a dot. It does not come out all at once.
Oh, interesting.
So that it never outshines Smite. That was a very specific thing that they were doing. And a lot of people were like, why is my tower bleeding? That doesn't make any sense. And it's like, oh, if you're the opponent and you're like, wow, that was a really big hit. My tower is still taking a lot of damage. I should get out of here, rather than like Talon walking up and going, poof, your tower's gone,
Yeah.
also I kill you.
That's a good-
I got you.
I really, really like that. The big thing for me is that like I love that assassins can end the game.
Mhm.
I do not like assassins. I have been vying for a lot of assassins in PLC just because it's something interesting and new. And I do not like playing against assassins. And one of the biggest reasons why I don't like playing against assassins is they make your game miserable and then can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
This item is so expensive, but if you have enough gold as Rengar to buy this item, you should finish the game. And that's what this item does, and I'm very glad about it. Okay, sorry about...
No, man.
I've got
Preach.
more, but I
Preach.
think that's good.
So, here's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if we should talk about another tank item that's interests me, or the support item, not because I think the support item is going to be particularly super strong, but because it's very unique and interesting what they're doing.
Go for it.
Why not both?
Okay, cool. Let's start with the support item then. So the new support item we have is called Diadem of Songs.
A tier item.
Yep, it's a new tier item for supports. And, what it does is it grants additional heal, shield, mana regen, mana, and then health. And then its passive is that your bonus mana is converted to heal and shield power.
So I was telling you guys before we started the recording that I like the evolution of the Tear of the Goddess. It was you could only buy it
For Archangels.
No, it wasn't even Archangels at first. It was the Manamune. Manamune existed before Archangels.
Oh, you're right.
And it was the most weird thing because I remember the only champion I would ever build it on was Sivir. Because I was constantly, procking that W. They had just changed Ashe, so you can't toggle her Q anymore. And so, I was like, who is this for? It might be good for Ezreal. This was also before it would upgrade to the Muramana.
Right.
It was just such a random item. And then they gave it the upgrade, and they released Archangels, and then Seraph's Embrace. And for years and years and years, that was all it was. And I was like, man, they really need to do more with this. And then they released Winter's Approach and Fimbulwinter, and I was the happiest boy. Holy crap. Literally, the day I saw that was buildable, I built it. I'm a tank guy, and I play Nautilus, and I play Maokai, and I play Braum. And I was like, this is great. So, love it. And now they have extended it into the last role that is feasible to make this item. And I love it because supports need the mana. They're constantly throwing out spells. So why are they the last group to get this type of an item? I think it's a long time coming. I'm excited for it. It does exactly what we want it to do. I'm very happy.
Yep, it's going to be amazing for champions like Lulu, Sona, Seraphine. If you player support, we went over that before.
Well, interestingly, they're also, if I remember correctly, removing the ban on only one tier item.
Wait, are they?
Because you can build more than one tier item now, which is very interesting to me because I know too many Rise players are going to build Muramana, and it's going to be like, no.
Let's just pretend that they put a cap of 2. You're going to go Fimbulwinter and Seraphs.
Right.
You will never die as Rise because you're rocketing out those spells, constantly getting the root. You're always going to have a shield, and you're always going to have a shield.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Let me verify before I put false information
Build it
on the
on
internet.
Blitz just to mess with people as well.
That's messed up. I would love to build... I'm thinking about that. Champions like Kassadin would also benefit a lot. He's low range, and so getting the Muramana attack and the shield also very, very fun. And who else would do well with that? Who has mana problems? I have found that by the time we hit level 17, 18, no one has mana problems anymore. Is that a Juhadre myth, or is that real?
It depends. There's some champions that still struggle with mana issues. I'm thinking mainly those with scaling mana. So, for example, Kog'Maw or Kassadin's another example because 640 per cast on your ult is a lot.
Pretty huge.
Yeah. Funny enough, the other day I was doing ARAM Mayhem and got the double mana cost.
Yep.
So my ults were costing 1,280 mana.
Oh, and this is you threw it out there. I don't know if we're going to talk about this item, but there is one that gives you that buff where you deal increased damage, but your mana costs are doubled. So if you have double tier item, that suddenly becomes a huge incentive to buy that one.
Yeah, that one's called the Actualizer, and it works just like the ARAM Mayhem effect, where you activate him for 8 seconds, double mana cost, and then you also deal bonus damage based on your mana. And it's also bonus healing and shielding. So, you could see that getting built on supports as well. Because,
absolutely.
Yeah. Very, very interesting changes for those ones. And also for the support item, it also has an effect where you or any ally you've healed or shielded in the last 3 seconds, when they're in combat with champions, each second, heal the lowest health nearby champion for 0.8% of your maximum mana you built.
Dude, good synergy with the Moonstone.
Yep.
That's wonderful.
And the other really big item that personally for me, I was very interested in is, let's see here, the Protoplasm Harness. So this one gives you health and ability haste. And if you would take damage that would reduce your health below 30% of your max health, you gain 200 bonus health for 5 seconds, heal 200 to 40 health, which scales with 250% of your bonus armor and bonus magic resist over the duration. And then while you're doing that, you gain 15% size, 10% movement speed, 25% tenacity.
Ornn will never die again.
Ornn, imagine stacking that on like Dr. Mundo, for example.
Scion, all these mega tanks, Cho'Gath,
Yep.
these type of champions who
They're gonna
just
love
get
it.
stupid amounts of hit points.
If you build health, you will love this item.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's like you said, you will not die. And I don't see the listed cooldown here, but I'm sure there is a cooldown.
I
I'd
think it
be
would have
shocked
to
if there
be.
wasn't.
I am not seeing anyone talk about it, so I think I spread misinformation. I could have sworn that I heard that you could build more than one, though. So
Regardless, it was a fun thing to talk about,
Yeah.
and I'm glad you brought it up. that's still hurting my brain to think about Rise with 2 tier items.
but I think like any time that one champion breaks the rule, you can just go change the champion,
Yeah.
and it's no big deal. But like if it would help the game as a whole to give that kind of they call them payoff items, where it's like if you build a bunch of mana, then you get the payoff of X, AD or AP or something like that. It's actually interesting. They were thinking about changing, because they're making a lot of changes to current items.
Yeah.
They were thinking about making Endless Despair a ability haste payoff item. That
Really?
they're not, but they were considering the Nova that heals you to refresh with ability haste, but they didn't like the stuff that they found from that.
Yeah.
But it was like, that's cool.
It's
I like
cool.
that. Yeah.
It's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and then we're just getting a few more new items here and there.
A few. Yeah.
Yeah, a few.
We could be at this for a while.
Hex Optics C44. That one, when you damage an enemy and they die within 3 seconds, you gain 100 bonus attack range. So some champions, I think like Caitlyn and Senna, are going to have a field day with that.
And what's the other passive that it does?
Oh, that's right. You deal 0 to 10% increased damage with base attacks based on your distance away from them.
And
My God.
and that scales with other attack range bonuses.
Yep.
So
So
if you're Kog'Maw, or if you buy rapid fire cannon or anything like that, then you get those big hits from a distance. It's pretty cool. It's a win more item, but is it a win more item?
That's a good 7th item for a marksman.
Yeah.
Yep, the Fiend Hunter bolts that get you ultimate ability haste, and then your next 3 basic attacks gain 50% bonus attack speed and critically strike for 75% of your normal critical strike damage.
So what you're saying is you put that with a hex plate on a Master Yi, and you just win.
There's so much experimentation to be done here, because again, the dev was like, yeah, we put that on Tryndamere, and it was the most like, oh, someone call an ambulance, but not for me.
Yeah.
And you ulti and you go wang, wang, wang.
Yep.
And you're like, well, what was I supposed to do there?
Yeah, and then Dusk and Dawn seems pretty fun.
Super fun.
Yep, health, AP, ability haste, attack speed, and it's a Spellblade effect, so like
Okay.
Lichbane or Trinity Force or Essence Reaver. After using an ability, your next basic attack deals 100% base AD plus 10% AP, bonus magic damage on hit, and it applies on hit effects twice.
That's right.
Yeah, that's one we need to watch.
Mhm.
I think if any of these items are going to get nerfed, I think it's going to be that one, because it breaks too many champions.
Imagine, I kind of want to test that out on, like, for example, a Kog'Maw, because
But like, so
you press W and
So like Tom Kench can use the AP. It's not great on him, but he literally Q autos eats
yeah,
that
you're-
fast.
You're right.
Because the on hit, his passive is an on hit.
Yes.
Oh,
my.
3 proc champions are gonna love that.
And
Actually,
I know there's not a lot of 3-hit champions in League of Legends, but oh wait,
you could build that. You could build that on Varus even and get your
Oh, yeah.
W proc so fast.
oh wait, Varus never builds AP. Yeah, this is the item that I'm like, I think this is going to snowball outside its intended audience
For sure.
So,
Endless Hunger is a fun one. That one is attack damage, omnivamp, tenacity, and then you gain ability haste scaling with your bonus AD, and then 3 seconds. If you kill a champion within 3 seconds, they die. If you dealing damage, you gain Omni Vamp.
Does that apply? Does that number bonus AD scale with ability bonus AD? I'm thinking Darius passive. I'm thinking Zahen passive.
That's a good question.
I'm thinking other like Trundle, who gains his stats. Mordekaiser when he kills someone in the Death Realm. These type of things. Does that also increase that number? Because that would be silly.
We should definitely look into that. I know when I built it on Dr. Mundo, it was very funny.
Oh man.
Get that Omnivamp out of here, man. Morello, where are you? We need you.
I think that's all the new items. Stormrazor's back, which we mentioned. I forgot about the Whispering Circlet, which is a new healing item for supports as well.
The question I have is, you mentioned that Essence Reaver was a Spellblade item. I thought they changed that because they're reverting it back. Okay.
Yeah. And there's several other minor changes to things like that. So like we mentioned that Hex or Blade, Gunblade is not going to be the same as it was before. So like definitely don't rush to things, do your homework and your research for all this, but hopefully that's a good overview of what to expect.
But yeah, I've been seeing people doing things like taking Gunblade and Endless Despair and Omni and the Rift Maker, and then also getting like a Spirit Visage and just like every healing and Omni Vamp item they can on hybrid champions just to heal insane amounts.
Morello's rolling over in his grave, poor guy.
I love that his name is on the Morellonomicon specifically to heal cut, and he was the one preaching it.
Yes.
Old school League lore, if you didn't know about that.
He believed that healing didn't belong in the game except for in very specific circumstances like Soraka, like Warwick.
Which is why there are so many shield effects.
Yeah.
And yet we have heal cut everywhere in a single item that affects shielding. Like, where's that, Riot?
Well,
let's get a shield breaking item that builds on AP and stuff.
I just think heal cut as a concept is such a it shows a toxicity in the game that is not effective. Like, I think the necessity to build heal, like, I'd rather get rid of all heal cut, like no more items that give heal cut, and just reduce the healing in the game to a certain point. Because then when you out heal damages, it will feel cool because you're doing it despite, instead of being like, oh, well, Aatrox got away again, guys.
Man. Like, I'll rant Aatrox another time.
Speaking of which, try building those items on Warwick. I'm sure it's really funny.
I make it a point that I hate building lifesteal on Warwick because I don't have to build any amount of healing on Warwick for people to build anti-heal against me.
Yeah,
that's true.
And it's so like annoying.
Well, everybody, those are some of the main points we wanted to discuss about the 2026 season. If you've made it this far, thank you and congratulations. I wish I could give you back at least some minutes of this hour and 10 minutes that we've been talking. But I hope it was helpful also. I hope it was entertaining, and we wish you luck in your 2026 season. And before we close it out, guys, any other final thoughts?
Let us know. If we're completely off base, like, let me know before I run it down. I'd love to be caught beforehand. Or if this helped you, I'd love to hear, and then I can feel good about myself.
Yep, and preseason is the time to experiment. Try out things, not only just with items and with champions and your favorite champions, but also see how the new elements of the map interact. Try them out for yourself. Find little advantages to help you in your games, because now's the time to identify those.
If you're afraid to do that just in the wild in regular games, join our Discord. Ask people to come and try things out with you. We have a great community, good bunch of people. Get some customs going and really try some of this stuff out.
Totally.
And in addition to our Discord, don't forget to check progenitorscircuit.com. That's our website. That has everything that we do. It has a link to our Discord, has a link to all our streams, to our YouTube channel, to our affiliate links. Remember, freshen up with those 2 new flavors, Santa's Cookies and Fireside Apple Hydration.
Santa's Cookies sounds like the better one anyway.
Yeah, but I can't have caffeine, so I can't have Santa's Cookie drink.
Okay, yeah.
I have a
Regardless.
sweet tooth, so.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. This has been PCP, and we'll catch you next time.